Shalom, welcome back to the Deep Dive Special Edition series. There is a moment in the Idra Zuta where the language becomes very simple and very deep at the same time. Rabbi Shimon begins speaking about father, mother, son, and daughter. On the surface, that sounds almost too human. But in the Zohar, the family structure is not sentimental language. It is the way the highest light becomes life. It is the way hidden wisdom becomes understanding. It is the way understanding gives birth to relationship. It is the way relationship finally reaches the world. The terms are Abba, father, and Ima, mother. Abba is Chochmah, wisdom. Ima is Binah, understanding. Zeir Anpin is the son. Malchut is the daughter. And all of them are contained in the holy name Yud-Hei-Vav-Hei. Rabbi Shimon says that when Atika Kadisha, the most concealed ancient one, wanted to establish everything, he established everything in the pattern of male and female. That does not mean physical gender in the ordinary sense. It means giving and receiving. It means point and expansion. It means seed and womb. It means light and vessel. Nothing can endure without that relationship. A light by itself is too intense. A vessel by itself is empty. A giver without a receiver cannot reveal itself. A receiver without a giver has nothing to hold. So the Zohar says that when Chochmah emerged from Atika Kadisha, it did not emerge alone. It shone as male and female. Chochmah expanded and brought forth Binah. The father and the mother stood together in one measure. Chochmah is called father because it is the first flash, the seed of insight. It is the sudden point that appears before the mind can explain it. You know something, but you cannot yet say how you know it. That is Chochmah. Binah is called mother because she receives that point and expands it. She gives it form, language, structure, and depth. She takes the tiny spark and turns it into a house that can be lived in. That is why the verse says, through wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Wisdom builds the house as a beginning, but understanding makes it stable. A person can have flashes of inspiration all day long, but if those flashes are never received into Binah, they do not become alive. They remain sparks. The Idra then says that Chochmah in its own place is not revealed and not known. That is important. Wisdom at the root is hidden. It is too subtle to grasp directly. We only begin to know it when it joins Ima. In other words, the hidden point becomes accessible only when it is clothed in understanding. Sometimes God gives a person a flash, a knowing, a call, a direction. But the flash alone is not enough. It has to be held. It has to be contemplated. It has to be given a structure, a rhythm, and a vessel. Only then does the flash become guidance. Then Rabbi Shimon becomes explicit about the holy name. He says that he had hinted at this throughout his life. But now the sites are being engraved and revealed. The Yud of the holy name contains Chochmah, Abba. The first Hei is Ima, Binah. The Vav and the final Hei are the two children, Zeir Anpin and Malchut. This is not four gods. It is one name, one living pattern, one flow moving from hidden point to womb of understanding, to revealed son, to receptive daughter. The name is not just something pronounced. The name is the architecture of how divine life descends. Yud is the point. Hei is the expansion. Vav is the channel that extends downward. The final Hei is the place where the flow becomes presence in the lower world. Rabbi Shimon then distinguishes between Binah and Tevunah. Binah is the mother, as she contains the deeper structure of father, mother, and son. Tevunah is the mother, as she nurses the children, the son, and the daughter. Binah is higher because in Binah, the father and mother are still openly included. In Tevunah, the mother is bent over the children. She is present through nourishment, but she is not revealed in the same way. That is a beautiful image. Sometimes the mother is seen in majesty. Sometimes she is seen in care. Sometimes understanding stands above as a supernal palace. Sometimes understanding bends low and feeds the part of us that is still young. This means that divine understanding is not only abstract. It nurses, it nourishes, it comes down to the level of the child and gives what can actually be received. The Idra then turns to the Song of Songs. King Solomon speaks of the feminine in two ways. One is called my love. The other is called my bride. Rabbi Shimon says these are not the same level. My love refers to Ima, because Abba and Ima never separate. Their desire is constant. Their flow is uninterrupted. They emerge as one and rest as one. The bride refers to Malchut. Malchut is called bride when Zeir Anpin comes to unite with her. That union can be interrupted when impurity and judgment dominate, and it can be restored when she is purified. So Ima is constant union above. Malchut is restored union below. That difference matters. Above, the river never stops. Below, the garden can become dry when the flow is blocked. Above, desire is continual. Below, relationship requires preparation, purification, and alignment. This is why Binah is connected to freedom and Jubilee. The Zohar connects Yovel, Jubilee, to the river that flows and does not stop. From Ima comes release. From Ima comes purification. From Ima comes the power to free the slave, cleanse the guilty, and restore what has been trapped in a lower condition. Real understanding liberates. When you understand only with the ego, you become more clever, but not more free. But when Binah opens properly, something in you is released from slavery. You are no longer trapped inside the same pattern. You can see the structure of your bondage, and because you can see it, you can begin to live it. Then the Idra speaks about Da'at, knowledge. Father, mother, and son are called Chochmah, Binah, and Da'at. Da'at is the son because he receives the signs of both his father and his mother. He carries testimony from both of them. Da'at is not just information, it is joint knowing. It is the place where wisdom and understanding become one inner certainty. This is why Da'at is connected with testimony. A witness does not speak from theory. A witness speaks because something has become real to him. Da'at is the point where the light of Chochmah and the structure of Binah become inwardly real. Zeir Anpin as Da'at is called the firstborn son. The firstborn receives inheritance. The Idra says he receives from father and mother, and within that inheritance are two crowns. From the father's side comes Chesed, loving kindness. From the mother's side comes Gevurah, strength and judgment. These crowns rest in the head of Zeir Anpin. When Abba and Ima shine into him, these lights are called the head Tefilin. The four compartments correspond to the inheritance of Chochmah, Binah, and the two sides of Da'at. This means Tefilin is not only a ritual object, it is an alignment of the human head with the supernal head. It is mind bound to divine order. The son receives everything and gives to the daughter. Zeir Anpin receives from Abba and Ima and nourishes Malchut. This is not a statement of human superiority. It is a map of flow. The upper intelligence enters the revealed divine body, and from there it feeds the receptive world. If Zeir Anpin does not receive properly, Malchut becomes hungry. If the inner life is not nourished, the outer life becomes dry. If the mind is not crowned with Chochmah, Binah and Da'at, speech and action lose their holiness. Rabbi Shimon says Abba and Ima prepare the house. Chochmah builds. Tevunah establishes. Da'at fills the chambers with precious and pleasant riches. A house with empty rooms is not complete. The chambers must be filled. In a human being, the chambers are the hidden rooms of the heart, memory, desire, speech, habit, and action. Sacred knowledge has not finished its work until those rooms are filled with light. It is not enough to understand something during study and then forget it when anger rises, when fear speaks, or when temptation appears. Da'at must fill the chambers. Then the Idra opens another veil. Rabbi Shimon says that all these matters were hidden in his heart. He had wanted to keep them for the world to come, because wisdom is asked of the soul there. But now he sees that the Holy One wants them revealed so that he can enter without shame before the palaces above. This is the humility of true transmission. Rabbi Shimon is not revealing secrets to impress anyone. He is not revealing for the honor of his own name. He is revealing because the time, permission, and need have arrived. The Idra says he lifted his hands, wept, laughed, strengthened himself, sat down, moved his lips, and bowed 3 times. No one could look at his place, much less at him. Then he speaks to his own mouth. Mouth, mouth, your spring has not dried. Your spring flows and does not stop. This is the mouth turned into a river from Eden. Speech becomes holy when it is connected to the source. Ordinary speech drains the soul. Holy speech becomes a spring. It gives water because it is not speaking from ego. It is speaking from the river. Then the teaching shifts to light and judgment. Rabbi Shimon sees that all luminaries shine from the most hidden supernal luminary. Every grade has its own light, but the lights are attached to each other and shine into each other. They are not separate. The revealed light is called the king's garment. The innermost light is hidden, and within it dwells what cannot be explained or revealed, the endless light. This is the balance of Kabbalah. We speak of Sephirot, Partzuvim, lights, names, crowns, and chambers. But inside all of them is the one who cannot be explained. The garments are real, but they are garments. The lights are real, but the innermost light remains beyond grasp. He and his name are one. From there, the Idra speaks of 2 luminaries that establish the throne, Tzedek, righteousness, and Mishpat, justice. Tzedek is Malchut, Mishpat is Zeir Anpin. When Mishpat approaches Tzedek, judgment is sweetened. The worlds stand in mercy and joy. Male and female are joined, and the flow descends in perfection. But when sin multiplies and Malchut is defiled, Zeir Anpin withdraws from Malchut. Mishpat no longer sweetens Tzedek. Then the serpent is aroused, severe judgments dominate, and many righteous ones depart from the world. This is a frightening teaching, but it is also clarifying. Judgment becomes dangerous when it is separated from union. Righteousness by itself can become fire. Justice by itself can become fear. But when righteousness and justice are joined properly, Tzedek become tzedakah, generous righteousness. Righteousness softened by Chesed. That is the transformation the world needs. Rabbi Shimon says that when a lofty righteous person lives in the world, one who loves the Holy One, the world can still be saved for his sake, even when harsh judgment is aroused. The righteous one becomes a living point of union. Through him, the separated powers are drawn back together. This is why the inner life of one person matters. A hidden person who loves God, who guards speech, who sweetens judgment, who lives with da'at, can become a pillar for more than himself. The world is not held only by public power. It is held by channels. King David gives the example. Before his sin, he could say, "Examine me, Hashem, and prove me." He was not afraid of judgment because he was attached to righteousness. After his sin, he said, "Do not enter into justice with your servant." The same David, who once stood confidently before Tzedek, later trembled before Mishpat. Sin changes the way the soul stands before judgment. Not because God becomes cruel, but because the vessel loses alignment. When the vessel is aligned, even judgment can be endured and sweetened. When the vessel is misaligned, even justice feels unbearable. The work is to restore the union. Let Chochmah find Binah. Let insight become understanding. Let understanding nurse the child within. Let da'at carry the inheritance into the chambers. Let Zeir Anpin nourish Malchut. Let Mishpat sweeten Tzedek until righteousness becomes tzedakah. Then the holy name is not only contemplated, it is lived. Yud becomes the pure point of wisdom in the mind. Hei becomes the spacious understanding of the heart. Vav becomes the straight channel of conduct. The final Hei becomes the presence of holiness in the world around us. May our wisdom not remain hidden sparks, May our understanding become a river that never fails. May our knowledge become testimony. May our judgment be sweetened by mercy and compassion. And may every dry place within us become a garden watered from Eden. Shalom.